When you're lonely, sometimes your mind will play tricks on you. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Lawrence Report. Tonight's broadcast discussing Found Episode 3, Missing While Lonely. And y'all, I apologize for getting this video out so late. It was my birthday. Let's get right into it. But before we get started, it'd be greatly appreciate if you guys hit that subscribe button, like, and please do not forget to comment. Let's talk about Found. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about this case. I thought the missing person case that they had was kind of, I don't know, it really didn't entertain me a lot. But the one thing that I am going to talk about, that we must talk about, that I personally didn't think this was going to happen until maybe episode 5, was Lacey. They have found Lacey. It's a sigh of relief for me and for you probably as well, because we didn't know how this thing was going to turn out, y'all. Now I give Gabby props for doing this right here. Gabby went into the devil's den herself. I'm talking about Sir Spot, and that's where she discovered Lacey there, but barely breathing, right? Hardly alive, right? Like I said, she put all the pressure on herself to try to find Lacey, right? She even wrote that letter. We saw her writing that letter, basically kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like sending the team on a separate mission while she was on a mission herself, right? It felt like she kind of played them because she knew she had to do this deal ultimately by herself, right? And not to mention while she was there talking to Sir, and Sir's like, now we can be together. Are you going to be with me? Are we going to run away? I'm just paraphrasing what he was saying here, right? And unfortunately, Gabby has tears in her eyes. She's like, yes, but there's also a knife. I think it was a knife. I think it might have been a butter knife or something like that, where Lacey wakes up. She grabs that knife, right? And that is when she ends up stabbing Sir deep, like it was a deep wound to me, deep in his back. Now, we saw Gabby trying to call for help, and Sir, like you always do, he kind of escapes in the night like Batman. You know, like that's how he kind of maneuvers around his territory. It's like Batman. He just is able to escape without a notice. Now, I'm like, now, Gabby, why did you turn your back around and not even notice this right here? But hey, Lacey's alive. They got her in a hospital, right? But the only issue is they don't know if she's going to survive or she could potentially die. I believe she will survive. It's going to take time to get back to her normal self, but she will survive. And not to mention this right here. I love this opening scene where they talk about Sir and his brother. Now, his brother, basically, his car is not working. Because Sir sabotaged his own brother's car. This guy, crazy as a bat, right? He even pops up in the car. And he basically, the brother is telling Sir, like, listen, I know there's good in you. You saved me during that house fire. You saved Mom, yada, 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 right? Not the case exactly. Because we realize that Sir actually, did his mother dirty, right? He basically offed his mother. And the brother, it's a lot for the brother to take in at first, right? But I mean, it would be a lot for me to take in as well. But we also do find out that it was actually Trent. Trent was doing some digging, and Trent was the one who basically kind of recruited Sir's brother into the fold. So I thought that was dope of Trent. And another thing that I also loved was the technology that they was using with that card. It's trying to use the card to track down Sir, his whereabouts in the city. And we know the case is revolving by a woman by the name of Betty. Betty and her man, her prison bae, they've been going through it, but some legality issues is going on. And they do end up finding out the situation with Betty and prison bae. There was another man that kind of like had Betty captured, stuff like that. So like I said, this wasn't the greatest missing case per se. But of course, with 20 episodes, you can't expect every case to be fire. Like even last season, there were some cases where I was like, oh, okay, cool. It is what it is, right? And another thing, I definitely appreciate the way Gabby is able to sometimes play Sir. What I mean is, whenever they had that press conference, right? She didn't tell Trent what she was going to do, but she knew that this press conference was going to draw Sir out, right? Because she ended up rigging it and putting it together so well. She's talking about, I believe it was Betty at the press conference, right? But she ends up passing out, right? Because she knew that Sir was going to come calling and begging and pleading for her and him to tag team on this case together, because this case kind of hit home for Sir. He kept saying, well, Gabby, you must reunite Betty and her prison bae. I can't think of the dude's name right now. I'm just gonna call him Prison Bae. But he kept saying you must reunite them, right? And that was a brilliant move. Now Trent was upset because he's like, well, you didn't tell me. But Gabby's like, listen, I couldn't tell you because I had to make it look real. If I would have told you, it would have been no emotion, and Sir would have figured things out. So again, kudos to Gabby. Like, Sir plays his cards right, but Gabby also knows how to play her cards right. We know they be communicating through books and through literature, stuff like that. But again, I love that right there from Gabby, holding that press conference, faking it, knowing that ultimately it was going to draw Sir out, and it did. It absolutely did. I believe now that since Lacey is back, the team will rally behind each other, but they still have a long way to go, a long road to cross when it comes to them reuniting, loving each other again, and being together as one. Because I think it was Dawn or Margaret, one of them said that, I'm paraphrasing here, they basically said that we are not ourselves right now, and that this whole Lacey Sir debacle is really dividing up the team, literally. Like, we can see Gabby, Trent being together, Margaret, Dawn, they're on a separate mission. The division is actually killing the team instead of them being on one accord. So only time will tell, how they're going to pick up the pieces when it comes to all of them reuniting. But I think this right here, they all going to be on their P's and Q's, because now Sir is going to be pissed off and he's going to be on the loose. And it looks like he may be the first person that he's about to try to go after one-on-one. It looks like it's going to be Trent. So again, cannot wait for him and Trent to go at it. It's going to be fire, y'all. It's going to be fire. So that is my thoughts on this episode of Found. Pretty good episode. I'm just happy that Lacey's back. I didn't know how long it was going to be. Now we just have to see what's going to happen with Sir. Because now, will Sir target all of the people again individually, right? Also, Margaret. It seems like the Margaret vision is back. Slightly. She said that it was back whenever Gabby was not around, but hopefully now the team will rally around Gabby, and hopefully Gabby will come out and issue a bunch of apologies to everybody. I don't know how she's going to do that. Maybe she's already done it. Maybe I missed it, but it didn't seem like it was quite an apology that I would accept it, right? But I'm interested to see how that dynamic is going to go with the team, knowing that Lacey is actually back safe and sound. And, are they still going to blame Gabby for everything that has transpired? So that's my thoughts on this episode, NBC Found. Great episode. Now, the next one's going to be even better, because we got Trent and Sir going at it one-on-one. We have been waiting for this one. It's going to be good, y'all. It is going to be good. And as always, thank you for tuning in to The Lawrence Report.